A billion streams doesn't trend, it gets archived. When SB19 crossed 1 billion Spotify streams across all credits, this wasn't just another milestone flashing briefly on social media. It was a moment that moved from fandom celebration into formal record. Not because fans said it mattered, but because institutions confirmed it did. An award-winning UK-based Asian media outlet documented the achievement. That single detail changes everything. This wasn't fan hype. It wasn't algorithm luck. It wasn't a temporary spike caused by one viral song. This was global recognition, verified, written, and preserved by a platform built to spotlight Asian excellence on an international level. So the real question isn't what happened, it's why the world is paying attention now. 1 billion Spotify streams is not a moment, it's a record of survival. This wasn't one hit catching fire and fading out. It wasn't a shortcut or an overnight miracle. It was years of releases, comebacks, risks, and reinvention, adding up slowly, deliberately, track by track, country by country. Outside of K-pop's highly industrialized system, very few Asian groups ever reached this scale. That context matters, because SB19 didn't inherit a global machine. They built momentum piece by piece, often against structural limits that rarely favor Southeast Asian artists. That's what makes this different. A billion streams means listeners didn't just arrive once, they stayed. They returned across releases. They followed through stylistic shifts. They grew with the group's evolution. And that level of sustained attention is far harder to earn than a single viral moment. At this point, SB19 isn't just doing well. They've crossed into historical territory, the point where careers stop being measured by trends and start being measured by legacy. This distinction is critical. Trends are loud but temporary. Legacy is quiet but permanent. And legacy is exactly what institutions look for when deciding what deserves documentation. An Asian online news outlet isn't a fan page. An award-winning UK-based Asian media platform exists for one purpose: to document Asian achievement once it becomes undeniable on a global scale. These outlets don't chase viral clips. They don't amplify hype. They don't move on impulse. They verify. They contextualize. They preserve. So when such a platform reports on SB19's billion-stream milestone, it signals something much bigger than praise. It signals that SB19's success has moved beyond national pride and entered global record-keeping. This is no longer just Philippine pop history.
A billion streams doesn't trend, it gets archived. It is now part of the wider Asian music narrative, written, recognized, and archived on an international stage. Language matters here. The wording used wasn't emotional, it wasn't exaggerated, it was precise. Continues to dominate, chart-topping releases finally reached a billion streams. These phrases aren't fan slogans, they're editorial confirmations. Journalists choose words carefully. They don't inflate, they verify. They don't react to moments, they assess patterns. Every line signals continuity, not surprise. SB19 isn't framed as a sudden phenomenon. They're framed as a force that has been building, and now the numbers officially back the narrative. And numbers alone aren't the end of the story. Streams create noise. Brands create proof. When SB19 became ambassadors for Xiaomi Philippines Redmi Note series, it showed exactly what the billion unlocked. Global reach attracts global trust. Brand partnerships of this scale aren't built on fandom enthusiasm. They're built on credibility, consistency, and market confidence. Brands don't partner with moments, they partner with movements. And SB19 has proven they are not just listened to, they are believed in. That belief translates into influence. Influence translates into market power. and market power is one of the clearest indicators that cultural relevance has moved beyond entertainment and into real-world impact. Then comes the timing, and this is where the story becomes impossible to ignore. As SB19 reaches 1 billion Spotify streams, they prepare for the finale of the Wakanima trilogy on April 18, 2026 at the SMDC Festival Grounds. A long-running artistic arc approaching its conclusion at the exact moment global recognition locks in. That kind of alignment is rare. Careers don't usually crescendo this cleanly. Milestones often arrive too early, too late, or disconnected from artistic closure. But here, everything converges. Audience growth, institutional recognition, brand trust, and creative culmination. That's how legacy moments are born. Spotify shows who's listening. Wikipedia shows who's being researched. In a single year, SB19 generated hundreds of thousands of Wikipedia page views, dominating the Filipino pop category. That level of traffic doesn't come from casual curiosity. It comes from sustained global interest. People don't research artists they've already forgotten. They investigate artists shaping culture. Wikipedia traffic signals something deeper than fandom. It signals academic relevance, cultural weight, and long-term significance. It's where journalists, researchers, students, and global audiences go when something matters beyond the moment.
Zoom out, and the picture becomes even bigger. This isn't just SB19 winning. This is P-pop being archived globally. When an award-winning UK-based Asian outlet documents this milestone, it signals a shift in the broader music ecosystem. Asian pop is no longer a single lane dominated by one region or one system. SB19 becomes a reference point, proof that global success can exist outside the usual blueprint. Proof that language, geography, and industry structure are no longer absolute barriers, not when consistency, artistry, and audience loyalty are strong enough. Fans celebrated first. Now institutions are recording it, and that difference matters. Streams spike and fall. Charts reset weekly. Trends disappear overnight. But articles, archives, citations, and verified records remain searchable forever. This is the line between popularity and permanence. SB19 has crossed it. They didn't ask for validation, they earned documentation. When award-winning global media starts preserving your story, the shift is permanent. One article leads to another. One archive opens the door to many more. Recognition compounds, quietly, steadily, irreversibly. More outlets will follow, more records will be written, more institutions will take note, because history doesn't wait for permission. It records what can no longer be ignored. The world is already watching. The real question now isn't whether SB19 is global anymore. It's who will be next to be documented.